Hey, it's Barry Online. Last Friday night, Sarah Huckabee Sanders and 7 of her family members stopped at the Red Hen in Lexington, Virginia. Apparently, the chef called the owner, so the owner drove over and asked Sanders to leave because she worked for President Donald Trump. Now, I'm guessing you have one of two viewpoints here, or somewhere in between. Number one, that's terrible. She should have been served. Let's boycott the Red Hen. Or, number two, serves her right. How can she work for a tyrant like Donald Trump? Good for the Red Hen. 5-star rating for you. I gotta tell you, when I first heard about this, I immediately thought about the cake maker refusing to make a wedding cake for a gay marriage. But then I realized it's really not the same. Sarah Sanders works for the White House, where Trump is president. The owner asked her to leave because of her employment and support of Donald Trump. The cake maker didn't refuse to serve the gay couple. They had served them previously and would serve them again. Whether it was making them a cake for a party or a birthday didn't matter. Serving them wasn't the problem. It was making a cake for a gay wedding. It went against their religious conviction. It definitely wasn't motivated out of hate. Right or wrong, the refusal was religiously based. The Red Hen singled out Sarah Sanders personally. It wasn't like she ordered ham at a vegan restaurant, and it wasn't a religious thing. It was just a personal dislike for either Sanders, Trump, or more than likely both. Stephanie Wilkinson, the owner of the Red Hen, said, quote, "This feels like the moment in our democracy when people have to make uncomfortable actions and decisions to uphold their morals." She also said, quote, "We just felt there are moments in time when people need to live their convictions. This appeared to be one," end quote. She's right. But I believe this was a clear association of the cake thing. That's because the owner talked about some of her employees being a part of the LGBTQ community. Jake Foley Schultz, who has apparently disappeared from Facebook and Twitter, an alleged waiter at the Red Hen, posted this on Facebook, quote, "I just served Sarah Huckabee Sanders for a total of 2 minutes before my owner asked her to leave, and she complied. Her family left on their own accord. We didn't actually refuse service or kick her out," end quote. Yeah, they kind of did. Asking someone to leave before their entrees arrive is kind of refusing service. I read in an article that the LGBTQ employees were concerned about her being there. The Washington Post records Wilkinson's words to Sanders. Quote, "I said, 'I'm the owner,'" she recalled. "I'd like you to come out on the patio with me for a word." They stepped outside into another small enclosure, but at least out of the crowded restaurant. "I was babbling a little, but I got my point across in a polite and direct fashion," Wilkinson said. "I explained that the restaurant has certain standards that I feel it has to uphold, such as honesty and compassion and cooperation. I said, 'I'd like to ask you to leave,'" end quote. Compassion and cooperation? Wow, that's actually pretty funny. No matter what Sanders says to support Trump, which is her job, isn't kicking Sanders and her family out of a restaurant kind of the opposite of compassion and cooperation? Fortunately, Sanders handled it graciously, except that she posted the ejection from the restaurant on her @PressSec Twitter account. I don't know the rules, but I'm guessing calling out a private business with your governmental Twitter account could be suspect, to say the least. All of this to say, no matter how strongly you feel about Trump's administration regarding the LGBT community or on the separation of kids from their mothers at the border, I really do believe that Trump and his crew are making a solid difference, not only with religious liberties, but also at the border. And it's just beginning. In the next 1 to 2 years, I believe we will see positive results of what's going down at the border. I also predict that no matter how good that is, maybe even spectacular, the left will not acknowledge it. They will continue to find some loophole or sharp object to poke, and that's really sad. Not that I would expect everyone to support Trump or Obama or Hillary or anyone else, but we can all find something good in every president. Even the worst president gets it right from time to time over their 4 years. Well, that is, until Trump. I'm just hoping the left will take a breath and see how this all plays out. And the right should be gracious and stop defending Trump with every ounce of your being. Not every move he makes is perfect. He can be really harsh and tweet without a filter far too often. Everyone, let him do his job and be as vocal as you'd like. But do we really need a red diner and a blue diner to eat? As always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I hope you can find some grace in having your opinions and speak up and be bold, but don't be a jerk. There's always two sides to a story. Until you know all the facts, which you likely never will, you can't hurt people because of your passions in love, in faith, and in the local diner. Until next time, God bless. Barry Online is a new podcast giving some insight and perspective on how to respond and react to what's trending in social media, Hollywood, and even your neighbors. Subscribe today and get your weekly insight.